Work.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mr. Cat, the Invitational. We're in the lower bracket now. Mineski facing off against s1-lykos. We just saw Mineski bested 2-0 by Execration, who are now sitting in the winner bracket finals. Going to be playing against Sig Trust tomorrow morning. I'm Zyori, joined again by Annie. We're from moonducktv, and this is our final series of the day. Annie, how you feeling here coming into Mineski-lykos?
I'm feeling pretty good. Got some more coffee, feeling nice, awake. We're going to have a Darkseer game, so I am looking forward to some awesome vac walls. I'm really hoping we get to see, like, Roshan, Cliff vacs. We saw a couple of those in DPL a couple weeks ago, but holy crap, were they exciting. 4-man Cliffs, dude. They change games.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We'll see if Mineski can pump up the jams here with the Darkseer disco balls, the ion shells all over the place. Curious what Lykos have in mind here. There is a Shadow Demon Drow Ranger combo sitting in the pool right now, something they could definitely utilize if they want to do the Shadow Demon Illusion Abuse type strategy. Could also look towards like a Tide Hunter, secure their off lane, Beastmaster, grab whatever supports they like. There are a ton of options here, and they will have to decide what they want to prioritize and also potentially hand back over to Mineski. It seemed like Mineski not so eager to play the Drow Ranger earlier, but who knows? Still something that they could certainly pick up. Worth mentioning that we do have Miracle and Ninja Boogie here playing with Mineski. Again, this is their new lineup.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting here. Great synergy already just observed in Series number 1. These guys can feed off each other's energy, feed off each other's green lights, and just divide the entire game. And they definitely did a good job last series. Now, Jug Oracle as an opener, that is not a duo that I see pretty frequently. I think Jug is a fantastic lane sustainer. Not necessarily worthy of a first pick, in my opinion, though.
I think against the Darkseer, he definitely can be in. Or also in the C region, so that means it could be a Jug mid. You never know. It's kind of that open-ended pick that will sometimes be the safe lane core and sometimes be mid lane. Oracle also just a good support in general. Some teams prioritize them, some teams don't. It really depends if you have a player that can handle the high skill cap of the Oracle. You have the power to change the game or kind of make the game harder for your team if your Fate's Edicts and your Purifying Flames aren't used in the proper sequence at the proper time. Mineski, oh boy, they go for the Naga Siren with their second.
Yeah, I like the Oracle pickup early. Again, it's just saying, like, screw you, Darkseer. You're not going to harass our laner again just because he can purge off the Ion Shells. But, man, we have got a Naga. I'm assuming because we're in SEA, usually SEA and China like to run that Naga mid. We have seen a couple safe laner Nagas, but those have mostly been out of the Tier 2 CIS scene.
Yeah, probably worth a ban on the Wisp if you're Lykos here. Naga Wisp in mid is just not fun to play against. Allows her to farm very effectively. And the beginnings of a cool wombo combo. You know, Darkseer, Naga, Vacuum Wall, Song, Setup. They could go, maybe not all in on that, but move into heroes that synergize well. You know, some small mechanics like Dazzle, his weave will continue to debuff while people are asleep. Things like that. They banned out the Bat Rider, but someone else that can lay down a bunch of fire. When you wake up from the song, you're in trouble. Heroes like that. There's the Shadow Demon Band, though, alongside the Ricky. Lykos limiting some of the support options here for Mineski.
Yeah, Mineski. I mean, the Titan taken out immediately. I'm trying to think of what else is really in demand right now. The Lion is still up for grabs. They could go for the Witch Doctor Venge. Obviously a nice utility on her, so they've got those reliable stuns if they need them. You can also get the nice position and control of the Vengeful Spirit, but without the Drow, we haven't really seen her run a lot, just as that, standard position 4 or 5.
Well, there's the Lion now for Lykos. Maybe a block pick. We've seen Ninja Boogie play it more often than not, as we've said many a time now, one of his comfort heroes. And does work well with Oracle. Gives Lykos something that they were lacking. They had the sustainability. Now they've got the control and the burst damage from the Lion. Also a great hero to have against the Naga, Hex, as well as Mana Drain, killing those illusions instantly. That is a very powerful tool to have at your disposal.
All right, so moving on, third pick. I mean, you've got the potential wombo combo of a Naga Song, allowing the Darkseer to set up a really nice wall vacuum, but Disruptor, I think, is going to tie that all together in a nice, pretty little bow. Can you imagine getting an amazing Static Storm and vacuuming everyone all over the place? And I think Mineski are gearing up for some awesome team fight, and then Naga Siren just does fish things and goes and Radiance pushes.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those supports that I didn't name but was kind of thinking of that fits well into this strategy. Again, great setup from the Naga Siren to start the fight for the Darkseer and Disruptor to follow up, and vice versa. Disruptor can drop the kinetic field Static Storm combo to start fights. Naga Siren can come cruising in and clean things up. Lot of team fight from Mineski, that's for sure. They will need to be a little careful in the lanes, though. Darkseer, a very powerful laner. Darks and the Disruptor can be when you're ahead. That's always the problem with this hero. If you start to fall behind, Disruptor all of a sudden feels very lackluster. Now a good team fighter for the Lykos, it will be the Tidehunter for the offlane.
Yeah, that's going to be super survivable here. So assuming we're going to see safe lane Jug, which I think against a Darkseer is a solid pickup, because Oracle can kind of purge off some of the Ion Shells, but Juggernaut's not really bothered by the Ion Shell damage as much as other carries are, so I'm willing to put like a 70% bet that he's going to be on that safe laner. Then Lykos look to pick up another mid laner. Anything in particular they want to grab?
It'll depend on some of these picks here. Depends on what Mineski are likely to put mid. I think it's still a coin flip if Naga's mid or if Naga's safe lane. Maybe more likely that she goes to the mid. She has pretty high armor, relatively high HP in that early stage of the game. I'm trying to think of really good Naga carriers in the mid lane. I think rotations from Lion Oracle are really the way to deal with it. I don't think you need to pick a specific hero that's too crazy, just something that holds its own. You know, Death Prophet, Invoker, Viper, those kind of heroes that, Razor for that matter. You know, there's anyone that can kind of do well in the lane that doesn't normally lose that matchup, can bully her around a little bit. With the help of supports, find kills, that's what you want to go for. And there you have it. More Wombo to go with the combo. Ancient Apparition for Mineski. Great to have against Juggernaut and Oracle. Mitigates all of that healing sustainability, but they are pretty light on actual stuns here, Annie. And this is looking like one of those drafts that you were referencing at the end of the last game where, yeah, they've got a lot of cool Wombo combo, but are they actually going to be able to get it off? Much easier said than done. I think these heroes much more difficult to execute with than that quote-unquote Wombo combo we saw at the end of Game 2.
You know, I can actually imagine Mineski putting that Naga safe and picking up something like a DK for their mid, because I think that adds a lot of tank, a lot of push, a lot of fighting potential, and then you do get that reliable stun with the Dragon Tail.
Final bans, Morphling and Storm Spirit. What do we got here? What are we looking at? Mineski, they'll need a mid or a safe lane core, and Lykos looking for a mid. I still think Invoker is a pretty good pick here for either one. Marana's nice, though. Now I think Veil of Discord, almost a guaranteed item to come out from Mineski.
So we're assuming that's going to be safe Naga mid Marana, or vice versa?
Now I'm starting to think it's Marana mid, Naga safe lane.
Yeah, I think that might just be a little bit safer, just getting that reliable farm. Going up against a Tidehunter, Naga shouldn't have too much pressure, and I think Marana's just a little bit more agile, able to get a bit more out of that mid lane than Naga would. She's kind of a sluggish fish to start, just farming up with those Riptides. Now Lykos, onto their last pick, I'm assuming they also need a mid laner. I think Mineski agreed by banning out that Storm Spirit, so we'll see what they're going to snap up here. Death Prophet.
Invoker.
Death
Come on,
Prophet.
Carl.
Death Prophet.
Both would be really good, actually.
Just pick up two mid laners.
Yeah, I think those two or Razor. I'm hot on the Razor after seeing him dominate in that last game. And I mean, it is really good against like what you want to do against Naga. He takes over early. He can get a nice fast mech. Fits the bill quite well.
Dragonite, let's do it.
They could pick Dragonite. I wouldn't like it as much, but they could. Ember Spirit. All right, so not wanting to go all in on the push. I think s1-lykos worried about their late game potential against the Naga and Marana with all of this magic damage, and now they've got somebody who can scale alongside the Juggernaut. They have two big cores that will carry pretty well, and I'm not sure if Mineski have guaranteed late game now. Usually you pick up a Naga and you think, well, all things equal, we'll hold the high ground, and then 45, 60 minutes in, Naga's going to take over the map. Good. But now you've got Ember Spirit, you've got Juggernaut. Both of them will go for Battle Fury. Is very good at cleaving down illusions. I think it's going to be difficult for Mineski. They're going to have to win this one through team fight prowess, not just late game security, and that's not going to be easy. Lykos have a lot of damage and also a lot of control of their own.
I have faith in vacuum walls. I will put my faith in a Darkseer who's nice and fed. Bocarino, this guy likes to make the plays. We've seen him a lot on that axe, a lot on those heroes that like to just kind of go up and man fight you. So
Bocarino.
I have high hopes for Mineski.
I want to meet Bocarino. I want to meet the man behind the seer.
It's oddly a specific desire.
I like that. I just like the name, Bocarino. I wonder what the history behind that is. I also like that he's Mineski Bocarino, sponsored by Bocarino. I sponsor myself, small sons. Get on the Bocarino level. Big fan here. Quick toilet break, and we'll resume into game number one. Mineski taking their time between games.
Great reasons for pauses so far in Mr. Cat.
Yeah. A little slow getting into this game, but that's okay. It's all compounded by the lobby issues. That one is a little more frustrating. Sometimes lobby chat just doesn't show up, so when you need to tell the players, hey bro, we got a new lobby, you got to join that one, it's kind of hard when you don't have a chat box. I got to actually make friends with the players. I got to get Carl on Steam here. So be like, yo, my man. Damn, is this one of the new Immortal? No, this isn't an Immortal thing. What is this bullshit?
Wow, you are heavily triggered by this Emperor set.
Look, I mean...
It's the new Bloomy thing, isn't it? No, it's
Oh
just
my
the hat.
god. That is atrocious.
You are very judgmental. I like the Juggernaut set, though. That was nice. I like his man skirt.
Yeah, he looks alright. The Juggernaut masks. Yeah, he has some cool sets. Juggernaut's one of those heroes that... He's got a lot of cool items. Just in general. Like, that hero has a ton of cosmetics. He's one of... I think he might have the most... He's like in top 3 for most sets for a single hero.
Sets or like individual cosmetics? Because I think
Wow.
Drow has the most.
Either or. All of it together. I guess you could say individual pieces. Because he was one of
Drow
the
and
first ones.
Pudge.
He's got a ton of commons. There's a lot of Witch Doctor. Yeah, a lot of Drow, a lot of Pudge. It's mostly like top plate heroes. Those are the ones that it's really popular for. Juggernaut is a very highly picked hero in pubs. Like if you look at all the pub games, all that kind of stuff.
All right, looking around, we have some neat little effigies. Similar effigies as last time. You know, I don't trust people that have no inscription effigies. I feel like if you go to all that work, like forging a particular pose with your favorite hero, like just give it a name.
Yeah, I mean the name is the whole thing. That's how you get those commends because they're funny. You know what my effigy is?
Oh.
It's Dazzle showing off his awesome pipe, and it says, "We've got this, team," because weave is spelled like the ult. It's a pun.
God, I don't know whether to commend or report you for that.
Ha!
Oh, you're
We've
terrible.
got it, team. I put it
Oh.
there so that every time we're losing, I can be like, "Hey guys, check out the effigy," and then it's a nice little boost of positive morale when our base is getting destroyed. It
Yeah.
never works.
That's
but
why you're on that winning streak that you're totally on.
Yep. Oh, God. I'm in the mood to play some more techies, man. That's the only vice I have in pub games.
Dude, I saw the stats for your Techies games last night. I was a little bit disappointed
game
in
2
you.
didn't go nearly as well as game number 1. Here we go. Game number 1, Mineski versus the s1-lykos. Dota 2 Lounge odds, I think, are vastly in favor of the Lykos. They were the team waiting in the lower bracket. Mineski just dropped down at 62-38 in favor of Mineski. Actually, not as lopsided as I had initially thought. Initial wards coming down. Radiant. Interesting ward spot. Outside of the Roche pit on the plateau. Generally, this is a ward you'll see if they want to knock this tower down early or invade ancient stacks, something like that. So maybe they're going to try to starve out the Tide Hunter, put a lot of pressure on this bottom lane. Interesting sign that they might want to be aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that ward is just to make sure that Tide Hunter can't just slither himself away if they go for ultra aggression. I think they want early kills. They want to get this Naga started off nice and fed, nice and early. And Lion scooting around maybe goes for some sort of pull, some sort of courier snipe, but he's going to be spending a bunch of time here on this little staircase.
Yabish. What do we got here? I mean, Naga will rush a bottle, and she's gone for the greedier build, Quelling Blade, 2 pooled tangos.
Bocarino just going, pinging out like, hey, there's a Lion all up in this.
I like this. This is good stuff. Bocarino with the right idea. He rotates mid. There's not much he's going to be able to do in lane right now anyhow, so secures the courier. Nice heads-up play, just to scout it out and make sure that Naga can run her bottle out right away. Because the Lion had the right idea. Naga already has bottle gold, and the courier is moving.
Alright, so Miracle going mid on this Naga. Gonna have a tough time just burning down. Able to trade a couple of hits with Carl, but I worry that Ember Spirit's just gonna get a little too much out of the lane.
It should be a pretty even farm fest here. I like most mid matchups these days, not a lot of kill potential until level 6. That's when Ember Spirit gets his big burst damage. You can actually use the triple Remnant to get kills when Naga's a little bit weak. But the right click's not going to do so much to Naga. The burn from the Flame Guard takes a little while to build up. You need a couple levels, and yeah, Naga's not really killing much. She can harass. Riptide is magical, so Flame Guard will keep him safe from that more often than not. Look at Jules, though. This is some aggressive counter juggling. He actually sniped that last hit. No, it did go the way of the Tide. All right.
Yeah, but now Tide has to just eat up some trees. He went for that anchor smash first because he just wanted the jungle, man. He didn't want a lane. He didn't want to deal with this nonsense. But look at him. He's going to get followed around by a bird. And now we're going to have a pause coming out. Bocarino needs a little bit of time to think about his sponsorship deal with Bocarino. But, I mean, this Tide Hunter is just going to get completely dumpstered.
If only Jules had more mana. With a level 1 Thunderstrike, he could actually get into kill zone here with another auto attack, even with the Tango regen on the way. He's got the clarity on, but still 20 mana short. I have a feeling Tide will be able to move into the fog and just juke and jive his way to victory. But maybe this ward will actually yield a first blood. If he does decide to juke down instead of towards the base, Disruptor might actually get the vision to drop the Thunderstrike.
I can't tell if Raging Potato's calling the opponents cockroaches or if there is a cockroach in his room that he needs to go take care of.
I think that means there's a cockroach in his room, but appropriate use of all caps that time. Lykos not ready.
I feel like that'd be a great way to just address your teammates. Like, I need a second. Wait, you cockroaches. All right.
Cockroach is pretty offensive. They're pretty low on the list of insects, whatever cockroaches are.
Jules, he has enough mana for the Thunderstrike. He's actually going to go in. Tide Hunter should be able to
Don't think this is a kill. Yeah, he needed one more auto attack.
He gets the Tango off.
Maybe even 2 more auto attacks, depending on the timing. Close call, still tied. Out of regen, now has to walk back.
Oh, mid lane. Miracle getting very, very low. Trying to 1v1 here. They're going to go in with a net. Miracle burning down there to this Flame Guard. And now Lykos. Oh, they may end up losing their Emperor here. Look at both of these mids. Just
He good. He got a bottle.
So low.
Really smart play from Carl. Knowing his bottle's on the way, he's going to get some free regen. But uh-oh, Jules! He's a step ahead. Does he get the courier? He's got boots. He doesn't have the movement speed, though. Cute little dire courier does survive. A Neebe. Oh, wow.
I have talked over and over about how I hate this courier.
It is actually atrocious.
All right, mid lane. We got the gank coming in there. It's going to be the net. This should be the first blood. Carl, no chance to react. But Jules actually going to get earth spiked up. I spoke too soon as that squishy Disruptor just tries to man up against a double damage Ember Spirit. He's going to regret that.
Yep, good rotations there. The double damage rune makes that a very easy kill for s1-lykos. Seemed risky for Carl, but he knew his limits, knowing that he could jump in, finish off the kill, and then be able to back out. Naga Siren going for the Iron Talon. She is bottle crowing, I think. Maybe the bottle's in the inventory of the Disruptor. Yeah, it sure is. Jules took it back, filled it up. Nice work passing the bottle back and forth so Miracle doesn't have to crow it. Iron Talon, great farming tool. He'll probably go... I wonder if he'll go Arcane Boots here. Usually it's Arcane Boots or Bottle, but I think you could get away with both. I really do like the Arcane Boot build for Naga at pretty much any stage. Makes it a very easy build up into the Octarine core, and she does use mana a lot. I don't think a Bottle is enough to sustain unless she has rune control, so that in tandem with the Arcane Boots lets you farm super fast and efficiently.
Alright, so we've got Mirana farming up here. She's going to go for that Wraith Band. Do you think she goes full Aquila? Oh, yeah, she does go full Aquila. I like her taking that Stepping Stone here. Sometimes we see, you know, Aquila treads before the Aghanims pick up. Sometimes just Aquila. Sometimes she goes drums. Do you think we're going to see those stat Stepping Stones or just straight Aghs?
Oh,
mid lane.
Die first.
Yeah, he gets glimpsed back. Not able to get out of Disruptor's grasp this time.
Well done, Jules. Sets up the kill. I think the Potato's going for a Midas here. Hanging on to that Gloves of Haste this early on without any boots is pretty suspect. Could be power treads, but Midas and Ags, not a bad build for the Mirana. It's kind of fallen out of vogue. We've seen much more just straight Aghanim's Rush with some of the core items you're talking about, you know, Phase Boots, Aquila, Completed Wand, all that kind of stuff. If you're getting all of this space to free farm in the safe lane, the Midas can definitely prove worth it, and is a hero that can benefit from the attack speed as the game goes on, especially if they go Veil into the Mjolnir type build. It's not too bad, so we'll see how it works out for Raging Potato. One of the problems with Mirana going the core Ags build is the timing. You have to get the Aghanims by like between 15-20 minutes, something like that, for it to be super effective. If you're still 25 minutes in and only halfway to the Aghanims, that's when the Mirana just feels completely lackluster and kind of a liability. With this CS score, got pretty high expectations for the Raging Potato.
All right, now how do you feel about this Miracle Naga so far in terms of overall farm?
Yeah, it's cool. He's
Keeping
doing
pace,
fine.
surpassing the Ember Spirit a little bit, but it always feels like Naga's just one failed gank away from being absolute fish sticks.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly how we thought this mid lane would go. It's just an even farm fest. There's been a couple of rotations from supports that's yielded kills, both of them dying once, picking up a kill each, and now just going back to CS. Within 2 or 3 last hits, Ember Spirit with a couple of extra denies. I think both sides kind of okay with the current status of mid. The disparity right now is the offlaners. Darkseer doubling the CS score of Mr. Tidehunter. This guy, I think Tide is probably struggling the most. That early rotation from Disruptor really slowed him down. He chewed through his regen way faster than he planned on, and now he's just trying to work the jungle. He does have level 4 on the horizon. Brown boots up, but his momentum is quite slow.
All right, now Juggernaut doing very well for himself, flying in that Wraith Band. He's going to have himself a couple of nice items pretty soon, and well, he should be able to start his farm. Do you think it goes like straight Battle Fury, or are we going to see the fighting Manta Diffusal?
Hard to say. Probably a Battle Fury game against the Naga. They want to have late game insurance. Also good for illusion clear. So now that I say it, definitely Battle Fury. And again, when you get this kind of space, Darkseer's put pressure on lane, but Jug handles it just fine. And he'll start to close that small CS gap as Bocarino rotates into the jungle, gets his farm going on. He picks up an Iron Talon. Jug should be able to invest in a farming tool and get away with it here. He'll have supports nearby, and they're getting to this point where they are hungry for action. Jug's soon to be level 6. If anybody steps forward in the lane, he'll be able to punish that with some kill potential. Also picking up the Ring of Aquila, so a lot of good early stat items coming out. Mineski getting way more out of this early game, though. About a 1,500 net worth lead overall. Some of that coming from the jungle with more efficiency from the Darkseer, and now Naga Siren heading in there.
Oh, man. AA wanted to do whatever he can to get away from this. Carl actually might end up going down, but no. He's not going to get trapped up here. There will be a net from the Naga Siren, but Miracle just too low to keep initiating onto this, so AA will end up going down. I was just about to say that I love the choice of Mineski, putting the AA in the mid lane to get some solo XP while Naga takes the side jungle, just because he does need levels so desperately, but then...
Well, it's still the right idea. You know, it's the right idea with poor execution in that scenario. AA needs to stay a little more back in the lane, but it's one of the great things about going for a greedy core in the mid lane. Once they can farm independently in the jungle, you can open up this space and, you know, start feeding some extra XP to your supports. I think it's still worth it to try to make a play like that. Ninja Boogie is going for the cold feet build, so he does want to be up in the action a little bit more than your average AA, perhaps.
Look at this juicy stack going the way of Juggernaut. That is going to be fantastic there. He's going to get nuked down. That Satyr wants nothing to do with that, but that is going to be a ton of gold going his way, unless they can get some serious contest from the Darkseer.
Yeah, they can't kill it quite yet, but another Blade Fury, another stun from the Lion, they should be able to take this thing down. The regen creep there actually makes that a little bit more annoying to deal with because they have to kill it pretty fast. Down bottom, the Tidehunter falls. It's a 3-on-1, pretty easy setup for the Mirana to land an arrow. She also has a Hand of Midas, so the farming tools from Mineski are real. They want to make sure this Mirana can scale alongside the Naga. Naga. Oh, boy.
New hero confirmed, dude. Shoots arrows and also has naked boobs. All right, we have got Ember Spirit sitting in the mid. He's going to be saving up a bunch of money. Do you think we see just straight travels from him, or does he stop for any more stats items along the way?
The travels, I think, are the play. He played just like that. We saw the Phantom Lancer in the series earlier. It's just so good on a hero like Ember. He can benefit from the mobility more than kind of anyone else at that stage. The nature of the Fire Remnants, the free trips back to the well and then head to the lane immediately. It just works so well. I can't think of any reason why he would want to go for the Battle Fury first. The BOTs allow you to split push lanes. Your team forces a fight somewhere else, and you can farm kind of anywhere. Also, the movement speed really helps out Ember Spirit just to get out of sticky situations.
Top lane, with the help of the Healing Word, finally able to take out the stack. Juggernaut has the Battle Fury to finish the job, and just going through. That is a ton of farm for him here. He was able to go and pick up the Ring of Health, courtesy of the last stack, and now another almost 700 gold to finish that off.
Yep, now Bocarino rotating towards the mid. Mineski playing very defensively. Happy just getting farm on the Mirana, getting some farm on the Naga. This is a good, slow, steady, passive farming game where it seems like both sides are pretty confident in their ability to scale, so I think we've got a resident sleeper on our hands here as both sides just kind of sit back.
Nah, don't say that. We're going to have some out-of-position fun times as everyone's going to be trying to make the plays. I'm anticipating some serious bloodbath around 20 minutes when everyone gets their ult. Everyone's like, all right, let's smoke, let's get the aggression going, because both teams, yeah, they can scale nicely, but they want to start out with some sort of foothold and some sort of lead.
Yeah, neither team really pushes that well, though, and both teams defend very well. So generally what happens when you have a weak offense but a great defense on both sides of the coin, everybody's playing defense. Everyone's getting boxed out, sieging high ground. So difficult against both these squads. Ember Spirit, Jug, Tidehunter, amazing heroes at holding those small quarters fights. Mineski, same deal. All that AoE, Ancient Apparition, some of the best creep clearers in the game, and Naga Siren, who will eventually be able to just spam out that sleep, make it happen. Carl in the mid, maybe in some trouble here.
Yeah, there's going to be that Moonlight Shadow coming out to bail Miracle out. AA Blast not connecting, and now a little Remnant in. Carl wants to get a little bit more done. They will dive under tower. There's going to be a big rotation, and they have the AA. Is he able to do anything? The Song from the Naga buys them some time. Can they go in with the Cold Feet after this? They go for the Chilling Touch. They've got the damage. Another rotation in from the Disruptor. Means they might be able to get this done. They proc the Cold Feet, but Carl is able to zip away to the last Remnant in time. I don't think they can chase this down, so Ember Spirit is kind of juking and jiving his way back up in this.
Carl staying aggressive, getting close to the BOTs now, 1,800 gold. Nice aggressive little play there, just putting some pressure on the Naga, knowing his limits, showing off the power of the Ember Spirit. Tied at least as level 7 now, haven't seen a Ravage yet, but it is available as Lykos start to put some pressure on. They group up as 4 and going on this tier 1 tower up top. Ice Blast, though.
Oh, that's going to be huge. Connecting onto 4. I don't think they get any kills there, but that feels real nice for the AA. Nice way to debut that ulti for the second time, I guess. It did miss mid, and now Juggernaut may have to pop that healing orb when it's back up. He's got to be a little bit careful. The Purifying Flames are going to be there from Oracle if absolutely necessary, but this tower should be flying down pretty quickly. I don't think there's much Disruptor he's going to do about it. Mid lane, though, we do have some free farm going the way of our Mirana. And she's got herself her point booster, so going to be going towards that Ags very shortly. Already the Staff of Wizardry completed, so only needs about 1,300 more gold to get that Starstorm unstoppable.
Yeah, I think Lykos will be regretting giving a Raging Potato this much space, as well as a free tier 1 tower. This means they trade 1 for 1. Ember Spirit and Mirana both getting the last hits. And Aghanims at this timing is scary. What did I say? 15 to 20 minutes is the window. At this rate, he's going to have it before 15 minutes. And at that stage, the burst damage is huge. I mean, that's where you just leap in Starstorm, and it's a dead lion every time, even if you don't get both of the additional stars on him.
I mean, there's a potential that Mirana gets picked off here and loses all that gold, but she is like 200 away from a completed
think
Ags.
There's any world where Tide can kill her, without, especially without Gush.
Oh,
Like,
Carl here. He's going to be going down. Wants to get the TP. One more hit.
Oh.
AA. Not able to get the job done. He's going to leave
nice.
a Remnant, regen up. He's going to hop back in mid and might even be able to melt the Icicle.
Naga BOTs up now. This is interesting. Going for BOTs instead of the fast Relic. Guess Miracle thinking he wants to capitalize on split farming, seeing that Lykos have already 5-manned once. They're likely to do it again. And now we can farm a little more safely in enemy jungle with that short cooldown on the TP and the enhanced movement speed, but a rarity. Like I was saying, Arcane Boots with bottle is rare. Seeing BOT's bottle before Relic is ultra rare.
Naga just bumping uglies there with the Lion in the jungle, but no one's going to be the first one to make a move. As they do just have Yabish going and draining down the illusions one by one with the mana drain. But either way, now Mirana still free farming, still no checks on her. She's 1-0. With this last creep, she should have her Aghanim Scepter, and that's going to be a very big thing that s1-lykos are going to have to deal with very shortly. I mean, they've got their Ember Spirit kind of going wherever he wishes, but I just think that Mirana's too dangerous at this point.
Oh, Jug might break this smoke. Nope, hiding in the tree line. 2 supports and Bocarino. Looks like a rotation mid. Oracle only... Oh, no, he's level 6. Okay, so False Promise is there. This might be a tough gank.
Alright, they're going to start things off. Disruptor just walking all up in him. Ion Shell Tick starts things off. Static Storm is suboptimal, but they drop the point blank Ice Wall, and that's going to be... Glimpse back across, and... Oh, okay. Disruptor saving the Ember Spirit there. Everyone gets out safely. No one wants to be the first one to... I guess really start the fight. Little game of chicken going on as everyone takes a chunk of damage, but no one falls.
Yeah, I don't think you find a kill there when Oracle has False Promise. That's the ideal support to save an Ember Spirit in a situation like that. Even with the Ice Blast connecting, very hard to force the Shatter. The Ags is out. It's time for the Raging Potato to start coming online. Surely he'll go Mobility Tools next. Maybe Arcane Boots, Blink. And I think Veiled Discord has to be high on his list. It just synergizes with their team so well also.
Alright, we've got Lykos sitting here trying to defend that tier 1, but mean old Mirana, she's here. She's hitting kind of hard. She's hitting for over 100 a pop now. And, you know, she's got some flexibility with her next item. I think Ags is the key component of her kit. Does she finish off the boots? Does she go for, like, Deso? Like, what's she looking at right now?
No, definitely Blink Veil. That's the build for sure. You don't go Ags to transition in the right click usually. It's all about the magic damage and survivability at this point. Like Linken's is another natural next stop. But you need some sort of a mobility tool to get in the fray. Maybe even a Force Staff, though I don't know if it's needed this game. BKB, also a possibility against the Tidehunter.
Raging Potato drops the Starstorm, but it's going to be dodged out by the Sleight of Fist. Now Carl, he's trying to zip back in, vacuum to keep in control, but he's still hasted up. He still wants to make something happen. He's booking it. Mirana, oh, she doesn't have herself a loop just yet. There she goes. She's going to be chained up, taking a couple strokes of burn damage. Now there will be a Static Storm. They catch him up, but they aren't able to lock him down. Arrow graces right on through. And Naga going to hold the song for now, not singing just yet. Sleight of Fist comes in, Searing Chains, they're going back in. They do want to lock down this Juggernaut. There will be an Ice Blast to go in. Cancel the song. They aren't going to get the connect onto the Ember Spirit. Now Ravage comes back in, not going to do a whole lot. Omnislash from the Juggernaut going back in. Bocarino surging away as everyone just sitting back. Nice vacuum wall. Should be enough to get the job done. Juggernaut is going to be a Magic Immune for now, spinning his way out of this one, but I don't think that can last forever. They're going to have to contest with the Tidehunter, but look at that Starstorm go, just cutting right through that Kraken shell like a butter knife. And Raging Potato now surged up, wants to go back in, dropping the Starstorm, and the arrow point blank to back of the skull. The Cold Executioner strikes again.
It was a very awkward team fight. A couple of misplays on both sides. The biggest one was Miracle just turning off the Song of the Siren a little bit too early. I guess it could have expired. I didn't see the exact timing, but they would have had a guaranteed kill. I think it was on the Tide right away. Maybe it was the Ember Sphere. Whoever was in the back line there, the Ice Blast just almost clipped him, and he was able to scoot away in time. It was a good concept with the setup, but the turn from Bocarino is what really did it. That vac wall, forcing the Juggernaut to spin, makes him an easy set of right clicks down. So Mineski, over time, able to take the fight. They do have a mech advantage, I believe, one up on the Darkseer. No, Tidehunter has one also. Just didn't really feel the effects of it so much in that fight. That is part of the Ice Blast power. Is your mech is not useless. I still think buying mech against Ancient Apparition is warranted. It's been something that's kind of hotly debated, or at least has been in the past. Bocarino, this is going to be close. He's not going to live. All right, good work, Carl.
Yeah, Ember Spirit getting the job done, and yeah, he's going to be going for his first Battle Fury. Should be picking it up quite shortly. I mean, unless that's going to be a Lincoln's, but I think it's Battle Fury for Ember.
100%. 100,000%.
In Chinese Dota, I have seen first item Lincolns, not even Boots of Travel.
Yeah,
just
but
straight
what
Lincolns.
does it block here? Like, almost nothing.
I mean, Glimpse.
Naga Net, Glimpse, Thunderstrike, and Cold Feed. That's a that's a pretty dinky spread. Now they need the illusion clear. That's like Battle Fury is so much better against Naga than it is in just a regular game, and it's already an incredible item on Ember Spirit.
It breaks here. Yabash looking for something. There will be the Moonlight Shadow. Do they have any detection? They
They've
pop
got
out the
one
Sentry Ward.
sentry.
But Miracle juking and jabbing away from that. We'll take an Earth Spike. They're going to get locked down there. Okay, there's an Ice Blast coming in, though. She's going to sing. Ice Blast not connecting on anyone. But it looks like Naga should be able to turn this onto the Oracle, at least. Oracle has that ultimate, the False Promise, at the ready. So we'll see if they want to actually go for this Cold Feet proccing as that guy is just booking it in. There will be a glimpse back. Oh, God, the Starstorm. Look at it go. Don't really know if they needed the Static Storm
There
here.
were so many things that could have, like, why didn't Miracle just net him, and it would have been a guaranteed Cold Feet proc, and then they could have stunned him and just killed him without the Disruptor ult. It was a nice glimpse. It silenced him so he couldn't get off the False Promise, but the Oracle also could have just used False Promise, and then he probably would have lived at least a little bit longer. He had teammates nearby, and they could have turned that into something. Very awkward sequence, but still ends up well for Mineski. They get one kill out of it. Disruptor's ult, not the longest cooldown, totally worth it if they can trade 1 for no like that.
All right, Miracle 1v1ing Carl, just trying to juke around, but I mean, there's just slow and steady burn damage. Miracle has no song. Look at this, they're just dancing around, and there's going to be a Finger of Death dropped out.
Dead. Nice blast off the mark, but that was kind of strange. Miracle getting fancy around the trees, and Lion just came in and said, all right, enough of this nonsense. Blink finger, you're dead. Cooked sushi.
Man, that was very curious play from the Naga. I think she just needs to be a little bit more efficient. She's trying to go and make these big plays, but she needs to just sit back and farm and relax.
I think the Naga's still doing all right, though. This build throwing me for a loop. He buys... See, this is a peculiar play. He buys the Radiance recipe before he dies. Normally you do that so you use your unreliable gold, minimize your losses as you're dead. Doesn't really matter when you have this much. He's got 2,700 unreliable. That's just the way of it when you're farming up for a Radiance. Buying the recipe, I guess it's not going to slow him down too much, but it didn't really prevent much either. This is not an efficient Naga build, is basically what I'm getting at. BOT's Radiance recipe, neither of those really what you want at the 15-minute mark. Yeah, he has a relic, but this is a 20-minute Radiance. The BOT's really delayed this a lot, and It may end up being worth it. He is still farming very well, but some of that is because Mineski are just playing better. You know, they're outplaying s1-lykos a little bit. Their team fight's a bit more coordinated. They've got more kills. I think that's why Miracle's been able to get away with this. But if these teams were a little bit more evenly matched, I think this Naga build that he's gone for is really punishable. Oh, okay.
That was neat. Now up top, we are going to have a continued initiation as Mirana just jumps all the way and gets hexed up. They've got the follow-up for this. They've got the Ravage if absolutely necessary. Going to jump away. There's the Ravage. Does connect. One tentacle tick coming in, but the Song to hold her in place. Once again, Ravage just really not value.
Yeah, great disengage from Mineski. Naga makes it out, and everyone survives. Any time you can take a fight like that, force them to use Ravage, and then just get out, you're pretty happy. Defensive Ravages are never what you want to do when you pick up the Tidehunter in that kind of a scenario. That wasn't even really a defensive Ravage. That was just an offensive Ravage that didn't find a kill. And a Blink Dagger on Bocarino. I feel like Bocarino's already gotten a lot of really good initiations this game. I'm a little scared of what he's going to be able to do with this Blink.
All right, back towards the mid lane. We've got Raging Potato. Has those little booties on top of the Blink Dagger, so no Veil just yet. I hope we see that at some point, because like you mentioned, that Magic Amplify is so valuable. You can get so much done from Mineski.
Raging Potato did go for mobility here. Blink BOT's super mobility. You don't see Mirana's often rush the Boots of Travel, but I guess that means Mineski are gearing up for some potential rat plays. If they get the opportunities, they're going to split the nines. Wow, that arrow.
It is so close. The Ice Blast does connect, so maybe they can jump onto the Juggernaut. Of course, there is going to be Oracle keeping them nice and alive during that.
There. Mitigates all that nice damage.
Oh, but look at the jump they're about to get. They've got the follow-up here. Static Storm is going to drop back in. He's silenced. He can't get out of there. There's only so much the Oracle can do. They are able to get the kill immediately onto the Oracle, and now there's going to be an Omni Slash coming out with too many creeps. They're going to be able to bounce around and disjoint it. Duels with a double kill. They're still going here. Tidehunter, no Ravage. Courtesy of that fight up top, they go for the glimpse back. They are able to lock him down in the kinetic field. They're looking for more here, as they will be able to drop down. Tidehunter, one of the last survivors, coming back in. They've got the Surge in the Mirana. She is spooky. She's got that Star Storm ready to go in 3 seconds, 2 seconds, plopping him down. He goes for the mech, but just has to sit there and take it. There's nothing he can do. They will get the Earth Spike here. Jules drops down to the Finger of Death, but in the end, it's only a Disruptor traded for 5 dead, a full wipe on the side of s1-lykos.
Incredible fight for Mineski. 5-0. You've got the Naga Siren, and now this game is looking very difficult for s1-lykos. Naga has come online, and she isn't even close to capped out yet. She doesn't even have a core item past the Radiance. Usually this is when a Naga team is still kind of struggling. She needs a lot more, and sorry, shoes?
Just little her travels.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's sort of an item. But, you know, no Manta,
Yeah.
no Octarine. That's really when she's scary. You know, those are the items that allow her to take over the map, get 100% uptime on illusions. She's still manageable right now, and it's just going to get worse. Mirana maybe looking at a... What is this going to be? Orchid?
Mirana?
Yeah, it is going to be an Orchid. Wow, okay. This is not an item build you see very often. I think this is
Mirana.
byproduct of being very far ahead here. Raging Potato just wants to continue to dominate. And what's cool about this build here is it does actually give her a little bit of right-click power. That is one of the nice parts about Orchid. And, of course, it also synergizes so well with this burst damage that
Yeah,
she
I mean,
can
if
put
you
out.
can
This
get the
is cool.
silence off onto Ember, then good luck, Lykos. I mean, Juggernaut,
cool.
he's kind of our dark horse here. He's farming up very well, almost keeping up with the Naga Siren. He's got himself the makings of a Manta style pretty shortly. He's kind of been unchecked, kind of staying out of these team fights as much as possible. Has those 2 deaths, but do you really think his shoulders are broad and beefy enough to carry his whole team?
No, it kind of feels like Lykos went a little too hard into the farming tools. The way Mineski did this was pretty crafty. They've fought with this Naga a lot more than usual, and it seems like Lykos weren't ready for it. They were hoping this would be more of a passive
Disruptor.
farming game. He's dead. Easy kill.
It's a small pickings, but it's something.
It is definitely something for Lykos. They'll be happy to take that. Now an Ice Blast flying mid. Tide. Uh-oh. Poor baby. Wow, that didn't connect. Somehow that missed. Okay. Just
Nice.
barely jukes it.
She's still scooting through. That Radiant's doing a lot of work now, so
Oh, she went Vanguard.
yeah.
What in the world?
It can't hurt the fish.
Why would you go Vanguard over Manta Octarine?
I don't know what's happening here. She's a literal fish now. It's happening. As there is going to be everything going down. Miracle taking a solo Omni. They get down the Naga Siren. No time to react. No time to song. And a Bocarino is going in. Gets a nice vacuum. But he's just caught out of the position. They can get him down. He's got the Purifying Flames rocking in. That might save his life a little bit. He's going to blink around. He will get tethered in place by the Searing Chains. And finally brought down once again as Mirana goes in. Takes a big creep there with her arrow, leaps away, goes for the TP out. I don't think they can cancel this in time, but that just seemed very questionable
What
for Mineski.
on earth is Mineski doing? They are throwing this lead away. I mean, they still have a long ways to go to throw this. There's a lot of farming tools on both sides, but the Midas Ags with the Radiance on Naga.
Disruptor again? What? Please?
Looks like he might be okay this time. I think so. They're not going to chase him onto the other side of the map, but
He just keeps dropping that static storm. He's so trigger
it's not even
happy.
just the way they're playing. It's also how they're itemizing. Mineski are getting cocky here. This Orchid on Mirana could be good. It's not a total throw item, but it's weird and it's punishable. She was farming creeps while her team was dying there. The Vanguard on Naga, I'm befuddled. I mean,
Raging Potato, you have no vision.
what? Oh,
Literally no vision. What's happening?
God, why are they doing this? Mineski, please. Carl, I don't think he shatters here. I don't think he. Oh yeah, Oracle's here too. Fate's Edict.
This is something else.
Holy throws, Batman. The Vanguard does mitigate a lot of damage from the right clicks, which is cool, but Vanguard doesn't do jack shit against Cleave. And now he's just going to go Yasha into Manta, it looks like. I'm real confused. Mineski making this more difficult for themselves than they need to.
Yeah, I am very confused. It seemed like they had such domination, but I agree the itemization just doesn't seem to match how they need to execute the rest of the game. And I mean, you've got Naga farming up in the jungle, which is nice. There's going to be a full smoke coming in, but Disruptor and Mirana just kind of jump it around like they're invincible, and slowly but surely Lykos can grab themselves a foothold and take this game back into their claws. Now Lion walking in, just ambling around. He does have his Blink Dagger, but he's going to get Yuled up in the air. Can they actually break the Blink? They will be able to do so. He's locked into that kinetic field. It should be a kill. Ice Blast comes in to secure the kill. Blop, there you go. Ancient Apparition picks up a nice snipe there, but
Yeah. A couple patches ago, Lion could probably survive there, but now Yules always does a guaranteed 50 damage when you come down. So if you get caught by an enemy Yules, your Blink is 100% broken. Zero chance he survives there. Even with that really nice stun, it's tough for the Lion. Jug, in deep, just TP's home.
all right, so Mirana, she's going in. Look how cleanly she cleans up a wave. I mean, she's got
Oh,
herself
yeah,
an
dude.
Ogre Club now.
She's a beast. I guess
BKB?
BKB now, yeah, against the Ravage.
I mean, it potentially could be Dragonlance, but it's really late to go for those early stats.
Yeah, BKB is way better. It's the item against Tide. Once you have magic immunity, Ravage is so much less scary.
All right, you agreeing with that or still pulling for that Veil?
I still think a Veil is good. I mean, it doesn't have to be Mirana that buys it. It just seems like since she has a Midas, it would be a natural build-up. Seems like teams are starting to steer away from Veil, though, from whatever reason. I think when you have a lineup like this where 4 of your heroes do huge magic damage, and even Naga does a decent amount of magic damage with Radiance Burn and Riptide, it's just a big amp in those huge 5v5s. It allows you to cut through the Flame Guard that much more quickly. That limits how much damage Ember Spirit can put out. It's just sort of a compounding effect, sort of like getting a Vlad's on your team. Doesn't really matter who gets it. It's just never really a bad thing to have because it gives everybody damage, everybody lifesteal. Very similar concept.
All right, so we have got ourselves our Yasha on Naga Siren, so she is going to go for that Manta eventually. I'm still putting some question marks next to that Vanguard.
Yeah, it's just a waste. Like, all of the beauty of Naga builds is being able to break items in transition. Ninja Boogie, Caunt down bottom, Gush just set it up. Does he live here?
I mean, maybe. He's fresh
got
out of mana.
Rain
It's going to
Drop.
be a nice static storm this time. Finger at death, dropped by the Lion, though. Jules now in some trouble, just trying to amble his way out. Nice vacuum! Oh, there's the combo into the Ice Blast. No one shattering just yet. The Ravage not going to be so impactful. They're looking for more. Can they actually find out the Lion here? Yeah, they are able to get a triple kill with Mirana, so that was a nice little turnaround for Mineski. And back to the point about the Naga, it does block cleave damage.
It
Vanguard.
does block cleave damage.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. That's weird. I thought it didn't, but I'll have to investigate. They've changed Vanguard mechanics quite a few
Miracle?
times.
Going back in, pops the song. They are able to find out Carl. The problem is keeping him locked down. The arrow.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. That is actually a little bit hard to time. You sort of have to turn off the song right as the arrow is crossing him. It's trickier than it looks, to be perfectly honest. I can't blame him for that one. Insane damage, though. That combo, all right, well, they'll actually get the kill they came for on Ninja Boogie, but that was really close. The Ancient Apparition didn't have enough mana for the Ice Blast at the very beginning, and he was able to get enough just at the end, right before the Mirana came in, and it was just a sick cleanup. I mean, that was If we have a lull in the action here, I'd love to pull up that replay and take a look.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That was the combo we've been waiting for all game, I think. All right, so here we go. Let's go into the replay. We're going to relive it. It was a dive onto Jules. They dropped the finger. He survives longer than he should have. As long as he gets his combo off, it's not bad.
That's so good.
But, God, that just...
The
Boca
Ravages
Reno.
have been something curious this game.
Yeah, I think it has been hard on the Tidehunter, though, to be fair.
Mid lane, back to live action. Raging Potato going to be going in. Wants to get the drop onto Carl. She's going to be invised up, just chasing him around, stalking her prey. Can they actually get this done? They're going to rotate in the
I think the
Darkseer.
Orchid makes this a pretty easy kill, even with...
Ice Blast. That could have been huge. The arrow going to be dodged out as well. They do have the remnant, but they're able to get the job done. Nice
Sick.
little leap over from Mirana, just shooting a star. They're going to go back in Juggernaut. Going to take some damage as well. They've got a Jug Illusion going to go in, and they will be able to get the TP out. They're looking for the kill on the Oracle here. Oracle dropping the full
Oracle.
combo. I don't think that's going to be enough to live through this Purifying Flames. They ain't green, and that's going to be a vacuum in, just completely
That's
imploded.
so sad. That was like just a miscommunication where Oracle says, "Don't worry, buddy, I'll save you." And Jug says, "No, don't worry, man, I'm going to TP out." And Oracle says, "No, really, I'm going to come save you." And then Jug TPs out, and Oracle is left high and dry, and it ends up being an extra feed. Very unfortunate. Two very easy kills just set up by the Mirana. Would have been a nice, quick, clean kill with either the arrow or the Ice Blast connecting straight away, but now we're starting to see the power of the Orchid. You know, she can use the Moonlight Shadow, can be very aggressive. That was just an invisibility rune, but still, very easy setup when she can get behind somebody like that.
All right, Mirana going in once again. Orchid drop, just harassing the Juggernaut.
Oh, another arrow connects on him. All right, split push here from Mineski, Ancient Apparition, down in the bottom lane, ready to chuck those snowballs across the map. There is a Ravage. Needs to be a big one from Tide, but oh no, Jules is going to catch him again with Silence, and now the Potato goes in with a BKB.
Can he get the Ravage off, though? Hit the tentacles, boy. This time, do it. Wait for the BKB and get it done. There's going to be the vacuum back in, but he looks like he might just end up falling back. The Glimpse. Can he get it done? There he goes. He's going to pop that Ravage, goes in, gets the stun here, and that's going to set up for a nice Omni Slash. Boca Reno surging away, as that's only going to be a brief moment.
They just used their two big ults and didn't get anything.
All right, they go in. Ice Blast connects onto Oracle. Oracle might have to do a job of saving himself. Now there's a blink in from the Juggernaut, wanting to get something done, harassing back the Mirana, but Net comes in. He's able to purge it off there with the Manta. But still, everyone on Mineski still standing. They don't have the Lion. They've got no buyback as well. So this is just going to be Mineski kind of resetting, getting those short cooldown spells refreshed, and continuing the slow siege.
Yeah, and they can rinse and repeat at this point. That's the great part about the Naga. Just spread your illusions, clear out the enemy jungle, push the lanes in, and s1-lykos will just slowly run out of places to farm. She now has the Manta style up and another 2,600 gold. We'll see if she moves into the Octarine or does something a little bit different.
All right, Ice Blast coming in. It's not going to connect on the heroes, but that creep wave just got iced.
Yeah, that was really a lackluster Ravage, though, in that last fight.
Okay, Tide blinks in, goes for the Anchor Smash here, but I don't really know if you want to 1v1 Mirana with an Orchid. He's going to heal himself up. Mirana, wow, that was a neat leap. She's going to blink her way out of that one, and there will be a Remnant chasing her down. Can they actually get the pull on this? Ember Spirit going way out of his comfort zone. They don't have the Omni Slash on the Juggernaut, so this is ambitious, whatever they're going for here. Raging Potato just completely ignoring the fact, goes for the farm, able to blink away, Moonlight Shadow to get herself out, and, well, Lykos, they've got to stop the chase and just go deal with their base.
Yeah, this is a really rocky situation for Lykos. Even if they're not finding kills here, they're just getting out-farmed. Now Moonlight Shadow, here comes the setup. Oh, God. Oracle died while I sneezed, sorry.
Right, everyone's dying. Naga Siren gets the kill onto the Juggernaut. The arrow going to come through, not going to connect onto anyone. Meanwhile, there will be in base Lion scurrying away as Miracle able to start exerting that burn damage. Look at him just get chased down. Lion just gets melted. Double kill now for the Naga Siren. Looking for more remnants away. Can they actually get the job done? They're looking for the snipe. The song comes out, catches both in base. I don't really know if they want to dive this. The arrow does connect on the Tidehunter, but still no Ravage to follow up. Now you've got the Radiant completely owning up the Dire. Dire confined to their fountain, and this should be a GG coming up very shortly in favor of Mineski. So after some very questionable plays, it seems like they have regained control of the game. Gush coming out, Mirana able to leap back, and, well, again, just focus down bottom.
Been a pretty wild game in general. They're going to glimpse him back, and I think everybody can disengage. Maybe Carl can find a kill. Chains will be off cooldown, and Jules will get left behind. A recovery kill, but there's still just so many problems for s1-lykos. And the main thing is, how do they actually turn this around? Defending high ground is slightly easier for them, but they're just so far behind, and this Naga is continuing to take over the map and will just put pressure on. They have no solution for it. Battle Furies are a good way to clear out illusions, but that still doesn't allow you to retake map control and actually stop her from clearing out your jungle camps and all that good stuff.
All right, so our Tidehunter, again, feeling a bit lackluster. He's got himself that hood, so if he's able to go for a pipe, I think maybe he can start helping out his team, just kind of be that utility boy with the mech and the greaves.
He
and
needs to sit back and use that goddamn blink dagger to get a good ravage. He keeps getting his blink dagger broken because he's too far forward. It is hard against the Naga. That's one of the great things she can do. Just spam illusions in. It stops his blink dagger. But you got to know that's coming and sit back. If you're having that much trouble, buy a force staff, His problem is positioning. I think the hood it's not bad. Pipe is great, but got to get in these fights, dog. Oh, no.
Okay.
They weren't
Naga,
ready for it. It was
she
just
books it out of there. Smart decision by her walking into all of them.
base
but Mirana,
created. Very nice.
she's able to go get herself a second life. She now has that completed Bloodthorn, so going for that upgrade, 1,000 more gold to work with. She is hitting hard. She is hitting quickly. She is hitting with True Strike, so it is not easy to up against her right now. The Moonlight Shadow will expire. She's going to be very visible, but no one giving her any trouble.
In a row, scouting things out, not going to find much, and now this game gets even harder for s1-lykos. They will try to split out the top lane before coming back to mount a defense. Jug will just TP in.
Oh, yes, that's the vacuum wall we like. Now they're going to bring in the Juggernaut. He does have his Omni Slash available, but can he actually get everyone isolated? He's going to be just scurrying away under the help of his healing ward. And there is going to be Carl going in. They got the BKB, the Mirana. Raging Potato, again, has 2 lives. They're going to be going back on in. Nice Static Storm. Cancel the song. They should be able to go get the arrow. Song not canceled. All right.
Okay, awkward.
Ravage, it connects onto all of them. Nice job, Tidehunter. Is it enough though? Raging Potato going to leap forward. May have to burn the Aegis here. Not even going to have to do so. Just completely alive. Tidehunter gets vacuumed back, controlled up. Juggernaut comes back into the fight, burning out the Aegis. But there's the GG. Well played, called out from Lykos. They're calling Uncle.
Yeah, at an appropriate time as well. Tide finally gets a decent Ravage, but it's just too little too late. Even a lackluster final defense from s1-lykos. I was out looking at like, okay, Jug, Ember Spirit, what are you doing out here? And they were just kind of farming, trying to push out the lane. By the time they TP'd back, they'd already lost 1 hero. They started that final fight 4v5. Doesn't really matter how good Tidehunter's ult is at that stage. They just didn't have the damage. Jug got off an Omni Slash, but, same story, different chapter. Tidehunter really felt like the weak link to me that game, though. Really hard time getting off good Ravages. Rough time in lane. Wasn't able to retreat into the jungle. It just seemed like a pick that didn't really fit in all that well. But I will credit Mineski with nice aggressive plays. That was a much more active Naga than I think we're used to seeing. And that seemed to catch s1-lykos off guard. It looked to me like they were preparing to go farm mode. And the fight actually came to them.
All right, so we are going to go into our game number 2. Lykos definitely need to kind of group themselves up, wake up a little bit, maybe not pick Tidehunter, and we're going to see what's going to go down in game number 2.
Yep, quick break, folks, and we're coming on back. I'm Zyori, she's Annie. We're from moonducktv. You're watching the Mr. Cat Invitational. Only a couple days of this tournament left. Visit MrCat.com for all your Mr. Cat needs.